Son of a bitch. Hello there, and welcome to this special edition of MacYak, the PowerPC Challenge 2024.
On special.
Yes, very special. And it is the summary. We live streamed about a month ago to talk about the PowerPC Challenge 2024. Encourage everyone to get involved, and then today is the follow up to see just what everyone did, how it went, challenges, discoveries. Whether fun was had, all of that sort of stuff. So welcome to you all. Thank you for joining us. We are down one. We are down a Greg. he decided that because he had done absolutely nothing towards the PowerPC challenge, that he wouldn't be on tonight. And of course, what I don't think he realizes is a few of us fit that as well.
That's not an excuse anymore.
Just a few.
So anyhow, look, how is everyone going? Steve, how are you?
I'm great. I played around with my PowerPC.
Good.
Didn't do a video on it yet, so yay! I'm so excited to hear what Mike has done.
Hey,
Yes.
I did more than you think I did, smartass.
Nice.
Oh,
What'd you do?
So, I did have my G5 set up, and besides playing games, I also found a way to stream, watch YouTube very well
Ooh.
on it. There's a website that I found, and unfortunately, I tore everything down yesterday because I'm in the process of moving furniture around. My house is still a disaster.
I'm surprised I could see where your kitchen is. That's scary, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, this weekend there will be another desk there, and the G5 will probably be set up back there. So,
Progress.
What sort of G5 are we talking about?
quad.
Oh, awesome.
Ooh.
So that's liquid cooled, yeah? Is that right?
It's very liquid cooled, yes.
Okay.
He's going to be putting more liquid into it.
No,
The cats will as well.
I kept very close tabs on it, and I loaded it as well as I could, and I couldn't go over 45 degrees on that sucker. Believe it or not. I was very impressed. And I did put a battery in it, Steve.
Runs a lot cooler than my quad.
So, yeah, I mean, I was it's fast. I mean, it is very fast. So, but yeah, I was actually quite impressed when I found that website. I think it's called Invidious. It's just like a stripped down. I mean, it's YouTube, but it's very stripped down. You know,
Invidious.
No video just yet.
but I was able to stream full high definition video on it.
Streaming HD?
Yes.
What's your GPU?
The NVIDIA 6600.
Okay, so it's pretty much stock.
It is stock, yeah.
That's cool.
I've
interesting.
been looking around for something else to put in it, but I don't know. It's hard. It's one of those fine lines. You got to find something that, I mean, it's PCI Express, so that's not the problem. But it's whether or not the operating system, being 20 years old, can support the video card.
What was the name of the website again?
I think it's Invidious.
Invidious.
Let me power this thing up.
IO. I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, okay.
Go to.
Oh, that's cool.
So it takes out all the scripts and all the
Yeah, it's kind of like Steve's Frog Find.
yeah.
But
I only did the logo. Sean's Frog Find.
but for video.
Yeah.
And you can even download videos.
That's really neat.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely be giving that a try on the on my G5 a little later and see how it performs.
So the Quad G5 has the upgraded LCS, right?
Mine does, yes. Mine has the L5.
I think most of them probably do.
Yeah,
And that's the one that doesn't really.
most-
It's not known for leaking as bad as the old one, like I have.
They're
It has
mostly
leaked a couple
epoxy shut.
drops over the years. But whoever owned this machine before it ended up in my hands put some pig mat down under the unit. So apparently, whoever owned it knew about those things.
Yeah.
So, there was a couple of drops on it. You could tell, like, a couple here and there. Nothing serious though, but it should be taken apart. But yeah, it never got in.
So be sure to run it unattended for weeks.
No, my electric bill can't afford it.
You'll be warm
Which
though.
don't need to run any. Yeah, don't need to run.
It doesn't get hot though. Like I said,
The chip doesn't. Does the air coming out the back? Is that warm?
45 degrees is as hot as I got.
Okay. That's good.
Or bad if it's not transferring heat that badly out the back.
No,
It will
I
be
was
shut
keeping an eye
down,
on all the thermals in it. The processors were running at like 37 to 40 most of the time. So
This is a pretty neat site.
Okay, well, moving on to you then, Greg. What did you do for the PowerPC challenge?
I mostly worked on this thing.
That looks like a G5.
Yeah, it's an iMac G5 based Power Mac G5.
So that's the
And-
1.8. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, and I already posted the playlist of all the experiments I did on it. I also did the G5 drive setup, and we also tried to game on this, which did not go well at all. I did a few other things that I didn't get around to filming, and that was about it for me. So
Okay, cool. What about you, Captain Pants?
Yeah, you turn names on. We don't usually do that. That's awesome. So I hooked up this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't really do a whole lot with it. I just didn't get around to it. But I did find out today, about Shuriken, which is basically the sorbet leopard for Tiger.
Yep.
It's not an actual full install. It's basically just a kit of tools that make Tiger run way better than it already runs great, but it runs it even more efficiently. So I'm going to
May I show you something really quickly here, Dana? Just want to
It's a
show you
family
this
show, Bruce.
really quickly. See this section here about Time PowerPC challenge? Yeah, see this? Try some of the community projects: Sorbet Leopard, Shuriken Tiger. So-
He just
Nobody
covered it
reads
yesterday.
yeah, no one reads that. Oh, that does remind me of another thing I need to mention. But go on, Dana.
I read all of the replies to that thread, but I didn't actually read the original.
I didn't either.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that on this.
Shuriken's nice.
I have not tried it. I've got the Sorbet Leopard and I've got Tiger, but I haven't tried it. What does it bring?
Well, it's unlike Sorbet. It's not like Dana said. It's not an actual full operating system.
Yeah.
It's more like a bunch of. It's really a group of scripts to enhance things. It does install the more up to date WebKit browser, which actually is. I think that's how I found it.
Not really. No.
Well, it's not up to Leopard's standard.
Yeah,
But it does.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No, I take that back.
Here, I opened
I
the
don't
page
think
on
it
it.
It has a browser. It has a browser. What was it?
It has a special like PowerPC App Store built into it.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
that.
And
There you go.
That's it.
it's
there,
also
Bruce.
got updated networking scripts for modern day networks.
Maybe that's
That would be handy.
Yeah.
The weather widget is updated to work with different weather data instead of Yahoo, which is probably extinct now.
Yeah.
So I did. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I put an SSD in my G5 at the beginning of the month, and I put Sorbet Leopard and I put Shuriken Tiger on it. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't use Tiger at all. Sorbet was so fast and so smooth on that thing. I honestly found no reason to use Tiger. Oh, no, wait, I lied. One time I went into Tiger because I wanted to play something. I can't remember what. And it wouldn't run in OS 10. I'd run it in OS 9.
On a high-end G4 or G5, there's really no reason not to go with Sorbet Leopard. But if you're
Yep.
talking G3 or lower spec G4, then
Definitely go with
It's pretty
Shuriken. Yep.
But
It's
I
great.
will tell you, the Shuriken App Store is really cool. Takes a little getting used to. That's how I found the Invidious site.
Okay.
So,
It's got themes in it too, so you can have Platinum, Pinstripe, or Sierra system themes.
Yep. But
So-
mentioning the NVIDIA site, I forgot to mention that I did a video on how to set up ProtoWeb and WarpStream on classic Macs. Which
and what are those for those of us who are ignorant?
ProtoWeb is kind of like what was that project that did the Wayback Machine stuff? Classic Web or something like that. It condenses it down into a very streamlined. You can search old websites and stuff. And WarpStream is it has up to like mid 2007 YouTube restored, and you can watch all the videos from mid 2007 back, and you can also watch all the partners that are on it that are modern day, like me. I'm on there now, and you can watch all the new videos from the WarpStream partners on your classic Mac through WarpStream with Flash Player.
Cool.
Yeah.
Flash Player.
Yeah.
Good old Flash Player, eh? Bring it back. That's
Good
what I
old
say.
Flash Player.
I remember that.
Now, Jay, did you do anything for the PowerPC challenge?
I had plans. I was going to fire up the Xorg G5 cluster, and a guy that used to be a friend was going to help me out with, making it do clustery things, but that never happened. So then I got an idea. Time is running out. I haven't done the PowerPC challenge in 3 years. I took my quad G5 and I put it outside. It was minus 21 degrees Celsius, which is minus 6 Fahrenheit, I think. And I was going to let it sit there for a few days and test how well this cooling liquid holds up to freezing temperatures. And I thought, well, that'll be fun.
It's not antifreeze.
And then I know that.
It is.
Well,
and then
cool
I got
stuff.
sick. A flu swept through this house like with no mercy, and I completely forgot about it. And it snowed,
Sitting
and it
outside.
rained. It's still there. I
Oh
might
my
still
God.
test it, but yeah, it didn't happen.
Dude, it's been raining for almost a week.
It's somewhat dry.
Mm. Is it in the garage at least?
No.
It's just sitting
Oh,
outside.
Well, it didn't freeze as much in the garage as it did outside the garage. So.
Oh my God.
Now, I do feel the need to elaborate on this cluster project that Jay was talking about, the one that I was kind of happy to get up and running, but it was like, no, not yet. We'll save it for the PowerPC challenge. And then when the PowerPC challenge came along, silence. So, but anyhow, that will be a good project when Jay eventually gets around to deploying it. So.
PowerPC Challenge 2028 is target.
We did. I mean, we did a proof of concept. Actually, tried it out. Sort of clustering on Macs here. I just needed to get it moved over to there. So
Yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you. In terms of my contribution, I did a video, if anyone wants to check it out, where I mucked around with what is the slowest PowerPC I have in the house. I just want to follow that up. If anyone did actually watch it, I basically got a Quadra 605 and installed a PowerPC upgrade in it. And it was running at 50 megahertz, which is exactly twice the 25 megahertz of the original computer. And in the video, I mentioned that I overclocked the Quadra 605 to 33 in the hope that I would then get a 66 megahertz PowerPC, and it wouldn't work. And then Kai, if he's still in the chat, hello to Kai. Kai, I hope you are doing well. Kai said to me, if you want that to work, you have to take the little jumper off the board so that it stops thinking it's a Quadra 605 and starts thinking it's an LC 475, which I did, and it freaking worked. So that was very pleasing. The downside to it was, though, once I went to 66 megahertz, I started having all sorts of stability issues. Just kept getting error type 11. So I ended up just changing it back to 50 megahertz, and it was pretty fine. So anyhow, that video is out there if anyone wants to watch it. So
It was a fun video.
I'll thank you.
A lot of people have watched it.
Yeah, it's sort of it went a bit ballistic actually, so I was pretty pleased with that. It's got more views than than a lot of my other, well, I mean, a lot of my videos, in particular things like the tutorials and reviews, I don't get a huge amount out of the gates. They are just steady views that keep going and going and going. But this one actually came out of the gates really well. I actually had lots of views right up at the beginning, so that was cool. Yes, so thank you to everyone who did watch that one. Okay, so that's pretty much, unless anyone has anything else to add, I figure what we might do is just go and have a bit of a peruse through some of these posts that we've had and just talk about some of the projects and other contributions of the others. So
Yeah.
Does anyone else have anything to add? No? Okay. Okay, so this is the Tinker Different thread of the PowerPC Challenge 2024, where we ultimately lay down the rules and all that sort of stuff, which is all great. And then the posts started coming in. A few of them were a few people just asking questions. Hey, can I use this? Can I use that? That sort of thing. Some people saying, it sounds cool, but there's no way I'm going to do it. Like this guy here who said, he wants to edit 4K video. And we're like, well, come on. Yes, that's a challenge, mate. It's called PowerPC Challenge. Get out there and try and edit your 4K on a PowerPC. But I don't think he did. Here we got Retro Techie and his iMac G5, 2.1 gigahertz. What else we got? There's some... Now, we had we had some really cool upgrades going on here. I'm going to scroll down. Oh, here's someone using MorphOS. Can someone tell me what the hell MorphOS is?
It is based off of, I forget what it's called, Amiga's operating system.
Amiga.
Oh, that's what I did hear, that Amiga. Yeah. So does that mean you can then run Amiga games on it and stuff like that?
I believe so. It only works on certain Power PCs with I think it's ATI graphics, and I got it to work on one of my PowerBooks, but I didn't like it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. There's a few mentions of MorphOS in this, of people trying things out, and I can see obviously in this instance someone's got like the Amiga version of Prince of Persia up and running on it, which is great. I mean, there's no doubt about the fact that there's an incredible catalog of games for Amiga OS. Okay, so what else we got? I'm just going to keep moving here to find some of the ones of note. Now, I think it was this person here who basically got a single CPU 450 megahertz G4, and they ended up actually upgrading it to a dual processor 500 megahertz. So I definitely have to take my hats off them for that, because that was definitely one of the things that we talked about in the challenge was, do some upgrades, peoples, and so that was really good to see.
$35 he paid for that. Wow.
That's cheap for a 500.
Yeah.
I have seen some awesome things that people have been picking up in these threads. When you look at these people that have just been going to what did you call it, like a thrift store or whatever, or sort of some e-waste recycling, and these people walking away with like G4 Mac Minis for $15 and stuff like that. And it's like, come on.
It was like basically a recycling center / thrift store up in Minnesota. Yeah, free Geek or something like that. I was like, do they ship?
Oh yeah, Geek is great. They're always sometimes they're at VCF Midwest and stuff like that.
And it looks like this person actually kind of customized their own heat sinky type thing. You can actually see it there.
Very beneficial for a G4 tower.
Yeah, so I think that's...
What are you talking about? That's stock.
And of course, we've got the old FLIR image here. FLIR. So we can see, how it's dissipating the heat. And there's the end result with the dual 500 megahertz. And obviously looking at these benchmark results here, look, 446 versus 273. So you'd have to be feeling pretty proud of yourself after making that upgrade. So definitely hats off there. That's a great one. What else we got here? Someone here using an iBook G4, great little computer. Are they the ones that really start to stink? Was it the iBooks that started getting?
Yeah, they have the smelly keyboards because they didn't used to, And now I walk into the part of the basement where I have a bucket of those things. I'm like, what the hell smells like BO? It's not me. Oh,
I hear it smells like rotten fish. I've been lucky.
no, it smells like
No,
BO or old feet. I'd be happy to send you
Yeah.
a keyboard for you to
No.
experience this.
I'm
It is
good. Thank
definitely
you.
BO. Yeah, it's definitely a BO smell. I mean,
I
there's
have one
no
that's got a
mistaking it.
very. I have one that's got a very yellow, super yellow keyboard on it, but it doesn't smell.
I think you need your nose checked.
Yeah, I wonder if we can use some Axe body spray on it or something.
Make it smell worse, just like all the kids in high school.
Yeah.
This person got their hands on this iBook. They bought it from someone, and the person who they bought it from, they weren't the original owner. And when he fired it up, it had a password, and he couldn't access it. So he got into the terminal and found out how to change the root password, and did that. So that he was then able to access it. He was basically saying he then just sort of backed everything up off there, and then put his own stuff on there. So he didn't actually want to use the files that were on there, but obviously, for the sake of archiving, as we all know, when you get across these old things, you got to check through all the old stuff to make sure that drivers or installers or something like that, if they're not sort of up on the garden or something like that, then you got to do your bit for the community and store them. So that's good. And then someone here getting the old Airport and Airport Extreme. I don't know how it is now, but for a while there, when you used to buy these computers new back in the day, we didn't have a lot of Wi-Fi networking. And, sort of certainly in my company, we were all just using wired. And so a lot of the time when we bought the hardware, we never even bothered to get the airport cards. And of course, they were an additional expense, so we didn't bother. But these days, well, I don't know if it's still the case, but I used to be able to just jump onto eBay and grab these little airport things for cheap as chips. I found some place that was actually just that had a whole stack of them. You could just buy 5 of them or something like that. So it's great that you can still get these on eBay, assuming of course it is still the same. I am talking about a couple of years ago. And look at that, Tomb Raider trilogy. Getting a bit of Lara Croft action.
Nice.
Yeah. So
they're reskinning that game, or they already have.
Are they?
Cool.
Updating the textures and whatnot.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. I thought you were having a go at, maybe Lara Croft had pimples or something like that.
No.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, makes you feel bad. Everyone's been a lot more creative than we have. What the hell?
Yes. I mean, there is some really, really good stuff here. Obviously, one of the big things that people are trying to do as part of the challenge is try and do as much of their day-to-day on these computers. And as a result of that, what they're trying to do is then get onto the web or watch YouTube videos and stuff like that. And of course, one of the unfortunate things is that we know that there's been a big change in the SSL certificates. So getting onto new websites with old hardware is quite difficult, just using sort of all the standard browsers and that. But the problem is even greater than that, and that is that computer technology has kind of kept, like the advancements in web have triggered the advancements in the way the hardware is going and vice versa. And it's just been this situation where web is getting more and more advanced and then the computers are getting more advanced to keep up with it. And it's self-perpetuating. And even if you manage to get a computer onto the modern web, it's so slow for a lot of things. I mean, when I think of some of the things that you can do with a web browser these days, it's different if you're just having a look at stuff. But, even if you do manage to get onto a website, the performance can just be terrible. So that's one of the problems with the web and, using these old PowerPC Macs. Is that
If
web
Tim
experience.
Berners-Lee had any idea of how many freaking gigabytes these websites would take up in your RAM, he'd be throwing a fit.
I remember the days of doing websites when I used to do websites many, many moons ago, and you would run this software that would go in and check the file size of every file that you had there and then give you a simulation of how long that website will load based on the speed of the end user. So you could get it to simulate someone on a 28K modem, and you'd select 28K modem, and then it would show you what the loading would be like under those circumstances. I mean, can you imagine that now? Like trying to load a website on a 28K modem.
That'd take forever.
Yeah. Now, this is a beauty. Someone here earlier this year picked up a 9600 350. You know, such a beautiful thing, and then got the 100 meg zip in there as well. And
that's Chris. He's in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Yes. I did see Chris. Yes, hello, Chris.
That's a good form
And look, this I really enjoyed this because basically Chris goes on to talk about how he had all this stuff backed up on tapes, but then someone got rid of the tape drive, and so he then had all of these tapes with the backed up data, and so he then had to go and source a tape drive to then get it off, and obviously a copy of Retrospect as well. I assume it was Retrospect that he used to back them up, and it's interesting because I actually have a couple of the tape drives he was referring to, so I just think that was like a cute little story about that, and there's a photo later on where we can actually see the tape drive, and Chris, did you manage to get everything off the tapes? Because I'm not sure if I've read up to that bit yet. Okay, moving along. This person here, who have we got here? This person, Fungus, is hell-bent on getting videos to play. Yeah, he was absolutely hell-bent on getting videos to work. And the amount of research that he did, and look, check this out, because if you're trying to do the same sort of thing, he's found out which software he was able to run on the old PowerPC that actually did what he wanted. So he's basically trying to get these videos to play in a watchable way on these old Macs. And he just had all sorts of trouble getting them converted into the different file formats, you know, obviously using things like Handbrake and stuff like that, and some of the old versions just didn't have the breadth of converters that the modern ones do. Ended up using a PowerBook G3 Lombard. Fair enough, I don't blame you. They're an awesome Mac to use for that. So, you know, I won't go into all the details here, but if you are someone who's looking to try and get videos to play on your old Mac and you're having problems with the file formats,
look at the tape drive. There it is.
There's the tape drive. Yeah. There. So,
wonder if he knows about that site that Mike used.
Yeah, well, you see, he wasn't just trying to watch video online. He had his own video files that he was trying to convert to then play to be almost like a Plex type thing, you know. And that was where he was running into strife, trying to actually get those video files that he's probably grabbing from his modern Mac and then convert them into a format where he can then just, you know, play them back on his older Mac. So, and this is what have we got with this one? This is the iBook guide that we were talking about before. So I'm pretty sure it's the same person. Now he was talking about an application called XEE, which I've never heard of before. And it's sort of like Preview, and he said it had really good options in terms of you know, sort of viewing files. So I'd never heard of it before, so that's really why I wanted to make mention of that. And I think he said it's not up on the garden. So, but anyhow, he tried all sorts of different you know, sort of image resizing tools and stuff like that. So he was again trying to resize images. So that's that, and then we've got more. There we go. iResize. He didn't like that, but he did find something he liked. I can't remember what it was called, but what was it? Downsize, an alternative to iResize. So you know, I think I quite like Downsize.
It's not iDownsize.
No, that's right. It must have an I in front of it.
Ooh, a dead power supply.
Yeah, I know. There's some cool photos that this guy posted. So here's those we were talking about this before. Yeah. There's the two different types of liquid cooling for the G5. So
just put a big red X over the one on the right.
The left one's the Panasonic, and the right one's the Delco one.
Delphi.
That's what
Delphi.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay, and so it's the Delphi is the one that gives people most grief.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's the one that I have. Yeah,
that's the one most of us have. The Panasonic was really rare.
Yeah. Okay. Oh well, I'm sort of lucky for those ones that got that one. I mean, it is so true. He says at one stage, these things are so big you could use them to cool a small engine, and I believe him.
Well, they literally are just a car cooling system, more or less.
Yeah, you use DexCool as the cooling, which is corrosive.
Yep.
Now he had issue with the power supply kept blowing fuses. My experience when that happens, it's usually like a blown transistor in there, but he ended up just getting a replacement. And here's Dana coming to the rescue and explaining to people that it's fine to use an anus for your PowerPC challenge. The Apple
Stop
Network
laughing,
server. And then obviously asking what the hashtag was. And to be honest, I think I used PowerPC challenge. I'm pretty sure that was the hashtag I used for mine.
Yeah.
So
I used a whole different tag, but yeah, it's the same one I think we used for the last episode.
Okay, which I think was PowerPC 2024 from memory.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's someone with a blue and white G3. It's a shame that Jay's dropped off because he loves the old G3.
Yes, he does.
And this is fantastic. So he basically got hold of this Radeon ATI card.
Yeah,
that was originally designed. It was originally designed for a Sun microsystem, and he had to actually go in and that exact card. Yeah, and so he had to go.
I pulled it out of my Sunblade. My Sunblade 2500.
There you go.
Put a better card in it. So if I would, I got one. No, I didn't know you could use that in a G3.
Well, you can't. He had to flash the ROM, and he actually goes into the details of what he did. So once he'd actually flashed the ROM, he was able to get it to work. So that was good. And he tried using it without flashing the ROM, or he had another one use it without flashing the ROM. And you can see the weirdness going on here. There's a bit of weirdness stuff. So he was saying he thinks it's related to like Kext not installed, and he was going to see if he could modify them. And again, I haven't seen a follow up for that. Kext not loaded. Oopsie. And this is the guy with the power supply, and this is his little jerry-rigged fuse. So that was the original fuse there, and this is his steampunk fuse that he put in afterwards. But unfortunately, it popped straight away. So, and then look at this. 3 zip disks for 6. He picked these up at that Free Geek Minneapolis.
I like the green.
3 of them for $6. I reckon that's a deal. He picked up 4 gigabytes of RAM for $4 for his G5. So, which I think that's also pretty darn awesome.
Yeah, it's a very good
and
deal.
then $5 for an Airport Extreme.
Nice.
And then $10 for an Apple TV.
I think they had the price the Apple TV at $5 and the Airport Extreme at $10.
Yeah.
And then he got a what was it? It was one of these little ADB USB. And he picked that up. Got that for $1.
Nice.
So that's I mean, look, people are trying to sell those on eBay for stupid money.
They are.
And to be honest, I don't think anyone's actually buying them for that sort of money. But you
can buy a ADB Wombat for like $25, and that's modern solution.
Well, that's right. There's the Wombat and there's the Quokka, and then I think there's another one as well. Oops, I just dropped something.
I've got the one I think Belkin made back in the 90s. I managed to get it for $25 on eBay.
Was that the iMate?
Yeah, the iMate. Yep.
Yep. No, I got a couple of those as well. They have a little battery in them. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It's to store and it was never documented why, but it was to store some kind of setting or something in it. And they recommend taking it out. I took mine out.
Yeah, because if the battery goes, it basically looks like it doesn't work.
Mm.
Which is good to know, because if people are, it doesn't work, I don't know what I want for it. $5 and take the battery out.
One thing I will say about those iMates, because we did use them back in the olden days, because we had dongles, ADB dongles for software, and we were running them on USB Macs. And one thing I can tell you is that the iMate will work beautifully with keyboards and mice without the drivers installed, but you do need the drivers installed if you want to use a dongle. So that is just something I can tell anyone in case they are planning to do the same thing. I don't know why you would be, but if you are. Okay, what else we got? We've got another here. Okay, so this is a 9600 there. Look, we've got a little Wi-Fi on the back there.
Wi-Fi.
And what else we got? I Squint. Now, see, this is this guy again doing this, trying to convert these videos. So again, he goes into all of these different converters and has all sorts of problems with them. And the one that ends up working for him is this one called Any Video Converter Pro, which he sort of it's all sounded a little bit sus, but it worked.
I guess if you're going to make one that converts anything, that's what you call it.
Yeah, that's what you call it. Yeah, that's right. So
I think I used the PC version of that one back in around 2010. It was actually a very good program. It did look sketchy, but it worked well.
Yeah, okay. And it's probably got malware installed on there now, but it's probably old malware, so it doesn't matter. And so now this is someone who's trying to overclock a G4. They were twiddling around with the resistors and stuff like that, and I think they had some limited success. Some of the things didn't work the way they were wanting them to, and other things did. So he managed to get that up to 550. I think his initial thing when he sped it up, and it actually was running slower in the speed benchmark. So I'm a bit curious about that. And then, look, Steve.
I know, I like the post.
The old Mavica. And I love someone's comment on this was like, I used a Mavica for my for taking photos on my honeymoon, but I got sick and tired of carrying floppy disks around in my pocket.
I walked around with 100 pack of floppies in a backpack when I had my Mavica when I was a kid.
I did that last week.
Okay, so we've got that. There are obviously people, there were different people trying to get onto the web with their PowerPCs, and of course, one of the ways they were demonstrating that was then showing, snaps of Tinker Different. So that's all nice.
I like the eyesight.
Yeah, good old eyesight. We like the eyesight. It's still one of the best looking webcams out there, I reckon.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Not the picture quality.
That's
an HD version.
Yes.
If they made an HD version of that, I would replace my Logitech right now.
Yeah. And look at this, $15 for a Mac Mini G4. That's just, I've got to admit, I love the little G4.
It's crazy.
Mac Mini. Great little.
I use one as a bridge machine.
Yep. They're nice little machines. So,
yep.
And then I think you can take them up to, what is it, 1.5? One and a half gig RAM?
I think just one, because
one. Okay.
It only has one slot.
Yeah. Okay. One of them has one.
I have
computer.
I have the 1.5 gigahertz one.
You're thinking the digital audio and the Quicksilver.
Shut up, Greg.
Okay.
The 1.5 gigahertz.
Oh, and the G4 Cube also did 1.5.
Yeah, sure. Just why even bother?
So, Steve.
Yeah, so I had the 1.5 gigahertz G4 one, the one that they silently released because they were like getting rid of their chips or whatever before the Intel transition. So it's like it was never actually
CPU.
Shut up! It was not actually advertised, but it was pretty neat.
Yeah. Okay, what else we got here? So I'm just going to keep moving. Oh yeah, so he picked up that that Mini, but it had a faulty optical drive, which he replaced. He had a spare, and he ramped up the RAM and put in an SSD. So once you do that with those old Macs, you can get them zooming around pretty well. And then this is another, these posts with people basically trying to get the web to work. So they were talking about interweb. PPC and another one called, was it Dark Web or something like that?
Yeah.
Dark Web, something. And this person certainly said they had more luck with interweb PPC. So just for anyone who was trying, I think it was less glitchy. Now this person, hats off to this person. Bloody Puma.
Bloody Puma.
Bloody Puma.
And the server, no less.
Yes, I know. So I think you've got to give someone, sort of props for that. That's dedication. I think installing the old Puma as the PowerPC challenge, because that is definitely a challenge. But I just love the look of all the windows and stuff and the little horizontal stripes and stuff like that.
And they still used Apple Garmin back then too, which was awesome.
Which it's kind of weird to look at now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you had the new gel interface, Aqua interface, but then you had the old Apple font that they'd been using since 82 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Or 84, I guess.
And this talk about 10
10.5
tube
too.
for watching
Okay.
the YouTubers. This is the inside of that G4 Mini that the guy picked up for $15.
She's
So
skunky.
he gave it a squirt with the air gun sort of thing to get rid of all the dust. But got that going well, and he discovered this in a drawer as well. That was what we were referring to before, the iMate. And then
Very
I love
nice.
this little trackpad thing, that little ADB trackpad. It's very cute.
Those things
Here's
were all
Morph
over
OS
the
again.
place.
Yeah,
Those little
loved it.
trackpads. I used to see them all over the place.
I didn't. I would have loved one. Okay, so this is a person going through the Morph OS process, and I think they were trying to set up dual install with 10.4 and 10.5.
If you ever come across one of those little trackpads, you should get it, Bruce, because it's great when you don't have a lot of space under a desk, and it's like, well, I need a little ADB mouse.
Yeah, I know.
It's about the same size as like a PowerBook 3400 trackpad, which is fine if you're using small enough resolution. I love the possum.
Well, he is saying, I love this. I have a G3 beige tower that I want to install a bunch of fans into. But he was saying that he's also had one of those orange PC cards with a 450 megahertz K62 in it. And he was going to see if he could play the PC against the Mac in some games. I'm not sure if he managed to get that happening, but I do love that as a concept.
Where are you going to put the fans? There's not a lot of room in there.
Yeah, and of course it's been G4 upgraded as well, so it probably gets even hotter still. So. And then, of course, mention here of ex post facto for obviously those people that want to install OS 10 on Macs that aren't supposed to have OS 10 on them, or later versions, or whatever the case is. I definitely remember ex post facto running OS 10 on the old clones that I used to have, the old Umaxes and Power Computings and stuff like that. Now, I think this is I'm getting towards the point where I think I didn't get any further, so you might have to take over,
Sure.
Dana, because you've read them all.
Go, Dana.
Steve?
No, Dana read stuff.
Yeah,
Dana read stuff.
I read stuff. Yeah. So this guy, is this the iBook guy, correct?
Yeah, that's right. He's the one that's I think he wanted to use it for music or something like that.
Yeah.
Audio.
I think he said, if it was the same guy, he said he used his iBook G4 on battery only, and in an hour it went from 100% to like 53%. So those things are really, notorious isn't the right word, but they are known for having really solid batteries.
Yeah, they are.
Even
really
20 years later.
They're really even now so good.
Can I make a little mention on that? This is a G4 titanium, and this still gets probably, you can see it there. This still probably gets 2-3 hours battery life out of it.
It's crazy.
And I mean, like, this thing's bloody ancient.
Why can't they make batteries like that now?
Yeah, I know.
You get 10 hours of playtime on your new MacBook Pro, and then a year later it's dropped to 5.
yeah, that's for sure. Those batteries definitely don't last particularly long anymore. So, all right. So this is the playing the music.
Looks like he went to install X11.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Like
is this is like what, page 5? Page 4 or 5?
4, I think. I think it's 4.
I was kind of running out of time at work, so I was skimming through some of these. But,
okay, yeah, no worries. Okay, so this one was this guy I think was asking for a bit of technical help regarding this ZIF socket.
There was a little bit of tech help back and forth on a couple of different machines there for about a page and a half or so, as I recall.
Yep. Okay. So we'll just move. Oh, look at that! Look at that beautiful fan there. We'll just move forward here a bit. So once again, this iBook Speedster, he definitely kept us well informed.
He said. I remember he said he tried Mighty Mouse and wasn't really impressed with their cursors. They were either like obstructive or just kind of meh. PowerPC Challenge 2024.
Okay.
Oh, the
look at
Tangerine
old
iBook.
man.
Yes.
Yes,
He was
yes.
doing like trying to make a 3D game, I believe.
Yes, he's okay. I'm making a 3D game for OS 9 and potentially 8
Yeah.
using the infamous Quick Draw 3D Rave API. We wanted to do something in Rave since a few years back, and now the perfect time. So this is interesting. I remember this from when I used to do a little bit of programming on the Mac, and I used to use an application called Real Basic, which is now known as Zojo, and it actually had the ability to just tie in with the 3D graphics, that was built into the operating system. So you could actually get some, 3D stuff happening quite easily. Hello, Sean.
Hello, Sean.
I'm loving this this crackdown here on the Apple logo.
It's like somebody flicked it.
Yeah.
Sean, tell us what you did for the challenge in the chat.
Yeah. Tell us. Okay, so this is fantastic. I mean, this is someone who this is one of the challenges we made. We said, look, guys, for the developers out there, see if you can come up with some new software. So we've got this here. Oh wow, that's looking pretty cool, isn't it? I'm writing a bit about this project on Discord. Let me know if you're interested in hearing about this project. I might do a little blog. So, yes, we're more interested.
I'm sorry, Sean, that breaks the rules. You're disqualified.
Oh dear. Okay, that's very empty. It's very empty.
Yeah. I think he bought a case for another power supply. One of his power supplies failed, and I think he either bought that case that had another one in it, and then he was cleaning that fan and broke one of the blades off.
Oh yes, I see. Yeah. So I imagine the plastic probably getting a bit brittle with age.
Yeah.
So he looks like he's tried to glue it there, so that's fine. End up sounding like that fan on Mike's computer that time. Remember that one? The Bluetooth and Wi-Fi.
Oh, and he discovered corrosion on his CPU cards, which is why even the new power supply wasn't working.
Yeah, look at that.
The power supply was fine, but the machine won't boot because of the corrosion.
Yeah, look at all that green funkiness going on.
Oh, wait till you see the dye.
Oh,
good Lord.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've seen that before, haven't we?
Yep.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think something leaked.
A little bit. That's the Dex cool. That's what that crap does.
Yeah. I totally get the appeal of having the quad core G5. I really do. But I have to admit, I'm so happy that mine's only a dual core, because I've just never had any problems with it.
Mine's a dual 2.7, and it has that LCS. And thankfully, the CPU cards are fine, but the cooler was just Jay and I cleaned it and thought about making it into a video. Then we had issues with the O-rings, and I kind of want to talk to one of those guys and say, where did you get the O-rings? Source those from, because everything I got from every guide that told me what to get, the things are too big.
They could have 3D printed them. You can 3D print with flexible.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So that's always a possibility. I mean, I know if I was going to be doing this, I'd probably end up just 3D printing my own O-rings because why not? $10 project, exhaust fan very low. That makes me so frustrated that someone was able to pick up a bloody Quicksilver for $10.
Yeah.
I couldn't care how loud the fan is.
That's even worse. It's a working Quicksilver.
Yeah,
he shows why the fan was so loud here in a second.
Okay.
Oh yeah. This is a good one.
and what he did to fix it.
I love it. It's such like a quick hack fix.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got the little Ethernet adapter for the PCMCIA support. So someone's obviously doing a little bit of work on a laptop
the little
there.
Farallon ones with the stupid cable that gets lost.
Sure.
Yeah. Stupid. And then
although some of those Farallon adapters will work on a Newton. So
it's so funny, this PCMCI. Does anyone ever use it in their hardware anymore, or is that just a completely gone thing?
What, PC cards?
Compact flash.
Well, they replaced PC cards with the Express card stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
and then it sort of went away.
I
The
only
first
used
part wasn't very popular.
that slot on my PowerBook 3400 for wireless internet.
I
was
love
good.
seeing this little new
Yeah.
Power G3 logo underneath.
Yeah,
That brings back memories for me because I had one of those in my Power Tower Pro. And so that was,
Oh,
you know,
nice.
every time you switch it on, that little icon comes up and it makes you feel a little bit better about all that money you spend on the bloody upgrade.
Mine used to show. Mine was a Power Logix.
yeah.
Was it? Yep.
Sonnet has one or had. Yep.
Yeah, it was always cool whenever you saw the G3 upgrade pop up. It's like, yay!
Oh, and then when Sean put BOS on his Genesis.
Mm. Now this is the laptop with the moustache on it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So they're probably one of the ugliest that Apple have
I
produced.
like.
Yes. What's that other ugly? It's not a laptop, but is it the 4400?
Yeah,
Oh, the Power Mac with the floppy drive on the wrong side.
it looks like a PC.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that's
Very,
definitely
very
one of the
boxy.
ugliest as well. Yeah.
That's why it sits behind my head in all my videos. Yeah, here's the fix.
Man.
Yeah, scroll
Loud
down.
fan.
Scroll down.
And then that's how he fixed it. That's awesome.
I love it.
Like
That's
loop
dedication.
together.
That's very resourceful.
That's a Sean type of hack right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Okay, what have we got here? Today's a great day. I received a package of new toys. G4 dual processor 1.42. Copper heatsink. So that's fantastic. That's going to take that G4 up to dual 1.4. I want to get one of those, actually. I went to go buy one once. There was a guy, one had it on eBay. And I want that. So I went to go buy it. And then I found out that seller had blocked me and wouldn't sell to me.
What a jerk.
Yeah, I don't know what I did wrong to them, but obviously something. This is what happens when you just happen to be on a YouTube channel and you start saying, the stuff I bought from this guy is crap. And they won't sell to you anymore.
I think this is where I think he got some new CPU cards and was gonna. He was trying to take the heat sinks off, and they were showing him how to do that by basically removing the two screws, and then you'll see the picture. It shows you screw them in from the other side, and it helps push the heatsink off without flexing the card.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay.
No, that's a familiar sight.
Oh yes,
Cool looking thing.
I think you have the ones I send Jay.
do I? Yes, I do. I remember now. Yes, see, they're always showing. He's like, screw these in from the other side, and you can see where it pushes the heatsink off.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yep. Oh, look at that! There it is.
Pop.
because there is a thermal pad under there, and it's kind of sticky. So if you try and pry it off with your hand, you can either bend that copper tube or you can flex the PCB.
Yeah, okay, it's a good tip. Definitely a good tip. And there's this guy. Yeah, we won't watch that. Oh god, and again,
Greg, you're
he's
muted if you're
spamming.
trying to talk.
Don't tell him.
You're muted.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're muted,
Over
buddy.
here.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
All right.
What?
You can
I
talk
said
now.
I can't unmute myself. My keyboard's over there.
It's not our fault, buddy.
So this is the one where he stuck the CPU cards. I think was that an ultrasonic or something? He cleaned them, and that's all the junk that came off of them.
yeah.
Yeah, I helped him try and get the thing cleaned up, and mentioned trying to neutralize everything again with white vinegar. And I don't know if he ever actually got the thing actually going properly afterwards.
Is it this guy? Fungus?
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
Well, I think he did. I mean, I think these are shots of it actually working.
Oh,
So I think he got it working. So
Hey,
That's good.
I mean, you liked the post, Greg. Did you actually read the damn thing?
Well, he said it broke again. On
It's
him.
either a yes
I
or
don't know
no
if-
answer.
I didn't post anything for like a week after that, so I stopped following it.
There's Chris again. We got a
With
there's
the tape
the
drive. Love it.
Sync 9600 and the G3, and there's the
Oh,
Lombard.
that's right. So that's what he's mentioning before with the tape drive connected up to the Lombard. So, yeah. All day to do one tape. Oh, yes. Us who lived through the tape era know that.
That's why those things ran overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Gotta remember that.
G3 dual, G5 dual 2.5 rebuild.
Keeps going into thermal sleep after 10 to 15 seconds. That was the G5. So.
Yeah, one of his CPUs kept overheating.
Okay, well, he just has to work faster then.
There's a trend here with the G5s.
Yeah.
That's true. They did, yeah. USB and SCSI. Best of both worlds.
G3 mini tower upgraded to 500 megahertz G4. I love that little G3 mini tower. I mean, it's one of my sort of favorite looking beige Macs.
If one's for sale at a reasonable price, I no matter how many I have to buy it. I have a sickness with those machines. I used one of those back in the day. I got one from Mac of All Trades for I think it was $2.99 or something like that. And oh man, even though that thing was old, I mean the G4 duals were out at that time. I still ran the crap out of that machine. I had a PC compatibility card in there. I had 9 and 10 and Windows on it. Nice. So stupid, but I loved it.
Day 17. God, I'll tell you what, Fungus is really dedicated.
Day 17. The computer still overheats.
Yeah, swaps CPU location showing those. Still iffy on the booting, power up and chimes, but no video. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, he definitely deserves some points for his.
Red light.
Yeah.
See, I told you it broke.
This was pretty cool. This is like a little tiny version of the strawberry iMac.
That's
and it actually works.
3D printed mini iMac, mini mouse, mini keyboard. Original puck mouse for scale. There we go. It's by a 4x4 inch Intel NUC. It's a NUC running Hackintosh Ventura. Wow. Oh wow! So he's actually
it works.
It's not like a Raspberry. Yeah. So it's not actually like a Raspberry Pi. Yeah. Oh wow.
It's got two ports on the front there. There. See.
That's cute. I love it.
Cool.
I do love that. That's awesome.
Next one, they're identical screens. I think it's just he's got it plugged in as an external monitor, but
wow.
I think.
Yeah, it's what it
he says sheep. He says sheep shaver. So is he emulating or is
he was? I think he's emulating OS 9 to do the benchmark.
What's the port on the side of it?
USB probably.
Yeah, because it's got a USB Ethernet.
USB Ethernet.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what guts he used for the keyboard. Because I mean, is it functional? Is it just? I mean, it's got a ribbon cable coming off it. So love it.
It's so cool.
Love it. Yeah, and then was that Fungus? Yeah, he was doing 3D modeling of a G3 blue and white.
Now there's already a G3 model around, isn't there? Because I remember Sean did that.
Once, so. That might be. Does he say?
Oh, Lightwave 9.3. I'm out of my own heart.
He's doing some 3D modeling refinement, is what he says. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yep. There's how it came out.
Yeah. Okay. I want a mini iMac now.
Yeah.
I want a green one.
Oh, the door even open. Look at that.
I like the door open.
Sweet.
Is that another one of those mini towers?
Yeah.
I think it's basically like a Raspberry Pi case that looks like a Mac.
Pi case.
Yeah. I mean, he's actually not using a Raspberry Pi. He's using a what did he call it? Intel
Another
something
NUC?
rather.
Oh, NUC.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
because he said NUC again. So the NUC is mounted just like a real motherboard on the fold down side.
Oh, cool.
So.
Yeah.
Cool.
That is extra cool. This is the Warp Stream stuff that Gritty was talking about before.
Yep.
Okay, and Proto Web as well. Did I? Okay, I've got the eyesight here. So this is Fungus again.
Fungus Among Us.
Ooh, modems.
Modem.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's Steve porn.
Steve, stop drooling.
Oh.
Yeah. Just about the most useless
Ooh,
things
if
you
anyone
can
was
own.
interested, I gladly for the cost of shipping. Okay.
Hey. It's a global village. I got a couple of those.
I like the geo
I bought-
port.
Okay, so what have we got here?
Remember when modems would look like they would like came in like the Supra modems? It was like this little metal thing that's got LEDs on the front.
Yeah.
And, they were cool.
Yeah,
And
I
then
have one of those, the Super Mac branded ones.
And then they just put them. All the modems went inside the computer for a while.
Well, the very first modem I think I bought, I think it was the brand. It may not be right, but what's popping into my head is Maestro. I don't know, but and of course, keeping in mind that in Australia we did actually make a lot of our own modems because when they were made locally, they could get approvals to be used on the phone system easier. You know, because they have to get approved by the telecommunications carrier, and so there were actually a lot of Australian modem makers. But the thing about the very first modem that I got, it was basically just like a jiffy case. It was like you go to your local, you know, your electronics kit store, and you could just buy these blank like cases that you would just open up.
Hey, there it is.
Like that, just like that. That was my
There it
first
is.
modem.
Chunky. 2400 baud.
Yep. 2400 board Maestro. That was that, and I don't even. I think I ended up getting that as a hand me down. I think my work had it, and then they got a faster one, and I asked if I could have the slow one, so I took that home.
Look at all those components.
Yeah.
Hells yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Got a
I love
Zilog. What more do you need?
Yeah.
Look at the hot snot.
Yep.
Definitely a lot of snot.
geez, that takes me back. I'm telling you, wowzers.
Wow.
Crikey.
So this is where the iBook guy said that, and we were just talking with Jay about this earlier, where he didn't like the Mighty Mouse app because he's trying to find support for his vertical mouse. And this guy wasn't real impressed with it either.
Okay.
And what was the one called that Jay went with? Like,
Oh, yeah. So I was using I used Steer Mouse for mine, but that didn't work for his mouse. He didn't have support for it. It's got support for the Logitechs, but I've got to move my mouse around here. So here's
Contour Unimouse Wireless is the mouse. Oh, linear mouse. That's what he got. So
Linear
if you're having trouble getting your mouse to work with your PowerPC or modern Mac, if it's a
You're holding it
mouse
wrong.
you're holding it wrong, and then try linear mouse. It'll fix the way you hold it.
One of the things that's always got me about is the support, the operating system, the Mac operating system when it comes to mouse clicks, is not being able to configure properly what your mouse clicks do. You know, I like to have my right click because they've got 3 buttons on them now. I have left click as a normal click.
Yeah.
Right click I have as a double click, and then the middle button I do as the control click. You know, the
I
textual.
quit using Apple mice so long ago because they just were so stubborn about keeping the 1-button mouse. I'm like, you realize that you're hindering efficiency, I guess.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
I guess the Mighty Mouse is the first mouse that came out that had 2 buttons, isn't it?
Well, it's still like
3.
It was that weird touch one.
It still looks like a 1-button mouse, but if you click on the right side,
it's technically it's like the Magic Mouse. You know, there's no buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got.
And you have to flip it upside down to charge it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean it has
mouse.
It has buttons, the Mighty Mouse, but the thing is, it shares the same piece of plastic, so you can't like if you're playing a game and you do a quick left and right click, it's like it's sort of weird. Yeah. Mac Alley or whatever company basically sold the same damn thing, but they cut the plastic right down the middle, so it was an actual button.
Hey, it doesn't flex as much.
So this is someone using an Apple IIe emulator. Now that is totally against the rules.
It's very neat.
Okay, so we've got some videos here, which I would encourage.
I don't need the emulated IIe. I have one.
I'm gonna watch these. I haven't watched them, but I'm gonna.
You made a whole series.
Got stopped working. I could. G4 instead of okay. All right. So working with the
Yep.
laptops, we've got that's the 12-inch there, isn't it? That's the 12-inch. Yeah,
Yep.
the G4
Mhm.
12-inch, which of course I still have an incredibly soft spot for. I just
Yeah.
love holding them.
I love
It's so
mine.
cute.
There's no wasted space on it. The design is just so compact, and yet there's plenty of room for everything you need to do.
I remember getting one of those secondhand, but they were still pretty quick when I was in
Mhm.
high school or right after high school. And I remember holding it up and just because it's so incredibly compact. And I remember just imagining, I'm like, if they ripped off the screen of this and there was no battery and there was no trackpad, like look how thin and small you can make a computer. And then
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
the Mac
And then they
Mini
made a
came
Mini.
out. Yeah.
And look at them.
Yeah.
Look at them now.
Yeah. But I mean, I love the edge-to-edge keyboard on that. It was the same size keyboard. It just went right edge-to-edge with the whole computer. And of course, it's got some real weight about it as well when you pick them up. I picked up a
Very
bulk lot
hefty.
of Macs ages ago. Someone was selling some Macs on eBay, and I went to go buy them. And then when I got there, he had way more. So I literally walked away with boxes of laptops, and within those were probably 4, maybe 5 of these little 12-inch ones, and they all worked. A couple of them were a little bit knocked around, but they all worked. And I ended up giving one away to a friend because I thought that's just rude for me to keep all these. Okay, right.
Very
Keep
good,
moving.
very
Keep
good.
moving.
One more
We're
page.
getting towards the end here, folks. Are we getting there?
Yeah.
That doesn't count. What the hell is that?
Oh, they ran an emulator on there. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Commodore 64 emulator. Cool. 1.8 gigahertz G5 arrived today. It appears to be a V3. Okay, so yeah, they are about the most pointless G5 out there. We'd all have to admit that, surely.
Yeah.
Which one? The single processor?
The 1.8, single 1.8.
Oh, the single 1.6 is even worse.
I actually have a single 1.8. I
Thought
think.
that,
I have a dual 1.8. It's actually a nice machine. I mean, it's not a screamer or nothing, but for an average G5, it's actually pretty good.
We'll skip this loser.
You're slowest. I just love like you're just like I have this piece of crap slow quadra. We're gonna make it even slower and more painful with this upgrade card.
I have to say, it was a lot of fun to do. It really was, and it was also quite something else getting the blue SCSI with the Wi-Fi working to effectively turn a Quadra 605 into a wireless Mac. And that's just a lot of fun to do something like that. You're getting onto the internet and it's like it's wireless.
Yeah, just ignore these power and video and ADB cables.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, that computer, the case is in such bad condition that I mean, it has to sort of sit in one place. I mean, if you try and pick it up, things just fall out of it because all the little plastic tabs that hold the power supply in, the fan, the speaker, the drives, everything—they're all broken. So everything just kind of floats inside. But I'm making a new case for it. So.
The iBook fella said he was installing a whole bunch of apps. What did he say? Mac Amp, Mulberry, the old email app. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it, some of those? You know what I would do is I would install SoundJam because that's what iTunes was before when it was still cool. Apple bought SoundJam and turned it into iTunes. And
yeah, the first version of iTunes on like it was either Puma or the beta of OS 10. The interface was pretty slick. I mean, it was very limited, but it was pretty neat.
Yeah, SoundJam I enjoyed because you could skin it and you could, make it fit your.
Yeah, it was like the Winamp, but for Mac. That was something I always was jealous of. My friends would have Winamp.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look how cool it is. And I'm like, I just have QuickTime Player.
Well, I have to admit though, by the time when iTunes really sort of kicked forward, I mean, when iTunes really, started getting huge amounts of functionality in terms of like you could rip CDs and the way, you know, the cutting. I made my Windows friends very jealous with what iTunes was able to do compared to what they were still able to do with their stock standard music playing software. So we just had to wait and be patient. Okay, again, this is all music stuff. Jeez, this bloody Free Geek place. What the hell?
He must live next door or something.
Yeah, we got one of those here in Pennsylvania. I'd like to go see it.
Road trip to Minnesota.
Looks like he discovered the cheap knockoff USB cards.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Okay. Just
Grand stream.
Test modems. Well, yeah. Okay, so he's calling himself by the looks of it, or something like that.
For a good time, call yourself.
Okay, moving along. I'll tell you what, we have got two prolific posters here, both iBook Speedster 88 and Fungus. I mean, I'm telling you.
Let them run this next year. Jeez.
I might hook it up with that Fungus guy. He sounds like he's pretty cool.
Yeah. And
he's a fun guy.
Hey,
I'll be here all week.
Month is already at its end, and I haven't finished editing a video or even fired up the original Sims. It happens to us all. Happens to us all.
I remember trying the original Sims on my G3 and calling up Aspire because it like wasn't loading too well, and they're like, "Well, your G3 doesn't have a graphics card." I'm like, "Oh, like whatever onboard ATI I think it was." I'm like, "Oh, never mind."
Was it the?
Yeah, but it
has like. Well, no, it has like the ATI like Rage 2 or whatever, but it wasn't. It wasn't as good as like the iBooks Rage 128. So I remember playing on the iBook or my dad's G4. But back when you could call up a software company and they'd listen to a dumb 14-year-old kid being like, "I have a beige tower."
Yeah, you're talking about the beige one, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The graphics on those sucked. They were okay. They were okay for their time. You
could upgrade the video memory on them, but I mean, it's still a limited chipset.
Yeah.
So not exactly.
3D wasn't the greatest on them.
Yeah, I mean, 3D might be printed on the chip, but don't expect it to do much for it.
Soundflower. Why does that sound familiar?
It does sound familiar.
That's to move like you could like virtually have a loopback cable and stuff like that from ins and outs.
Interesting.
Yeah, it allowed you to play your audio out back into your audio in or something like that. Does that sound right?
Yeah, there's a few of those that do that, and it's one of those things that I wish. I mean, Windows has had it for a few years. I wish there was something like that built into the Mac OS besides the MIDI manager thing, where if you click the wrong thing, then your sound just stops coming out. You're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, there's a tool. There's a tool. I can't.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
I don't have it installed on this one, but I can't remember what it's called. But it works quite well. I use it down on my other Mac. Okay, so getting towards the end here. What's this? Okay, cool.
I'm on the next page.
Notepad tutorials. Okay, cool. Nice. Okay, page 7. Last page. Here we go.
Just me announcing this stream.
I'm at the bottom.
This stream. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mentioned, I said.
Oh, look at Joe coming in and advertising Buddy Mac.
Well, it's because, scroll back up. It's because I said that even though this challenge is over in March, there'll be Marcintosh, and I tagged him and Ron. And I was like, one of them will probably give you, the details on that.
Yep.
And there's a Stephen with the Pioneer.
Pretty clown.
Pioneer clown. Yeah.
That is the coolest clone. I love that thing.
Yeah,
I love that stupid thing.
It's too bad it's a 6100 basically.
But you know what's
exactly what I said, Dana. I said Hey, you got the coolest freaking computer, and
Yeah.
it's based on a 6100.
They throw a massive speaker system with a subwoofer in there, but it's a
But
6100.
You know what's great about that is that, Bruce, if you go back to the image for a sec,
Oh,
all of the, I'll click on it. All of the speakers and everything that is on a plane below the logic
Mhm.
board. So basically, if you got one that had no motherboard or anything in it, you could basically just put a Mac Mini in there and plug in the speaker system into the 3.5 mil jack. And I mean, not that these are so plentiful that you could just discard.
I
all
know.
of it.
Yeah, but if
But,
you find one that's like destroyed or something, you know, like the logic board's like totally shot.
But the back of it looks like a standard array of ports, and then there's this thick plastic bar. And you're like, what the hell is this bar? Well, as far as I could tell, there's an internal audio cable going up that plastic bar, and it's a 3 mil sound jack or whatever jammed into the sound out. So that's all it is, because they rerouted the speaker outputs to the back, so there's these separate ports. But what's funny is, like, so you could just probably plug anything in there, because the later model they came out with that had a 603 board, which was like from the 5400 or whatever all in one. They just rewired it so the top is different, and the hard drive is in the back. So on the front left, where the left of the CD-ROM, there's a magneto-optical drive. So you have that fanciness. But yeah, technically,
sorry,
you put any other board in there. Yeah.
Is that the NEC that you picked up at that place with Sean?
Yeah. That's
nice.
the multi-sync. I love how the indicator light is like below. It says multi-sync.
Yeah.
I agree. I was going to say, you mentioned that in the video, and I was just like, I think that is so cool, because it's orange when it has no signal and green when it has a signal or something like that. I thought that's so nifty.
Yeah.
And have you?
I know, go on, Bruce.
I was just going to ask if you've played any games with the speakers on this thing yet. Sit in front of it. And
it's a 6100, Bruce.
Well, I did put a G3 500 megahertz card in there, and it is very zippy with that in the Blue SCSI version too. And so the thing is, because it's a 6100, it's new bus architecture. So even with the was a 2 meg graphics card that you put in there, you're not going to be playing Unreal Tournament on it. But I did grab the CDs for, I think it was Quake or Quake 2. So I'm going to play around with that, just see how the speed is.
There's still a lot of good games you can play on that, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
100.
Oh no, yeah, there's plenty. So I just wanted to what I want
to
am doing with it is I did like the little, the obvious benchmark stuff that you do, but I want to show practical benchmarking of how long it takes to boot up, how long it takes to unstuff a file, all this stuff. So that'll be released in a few days, hopefully.
I also want you to enjoy the audio. That's what you need to do.
So
you need to find some time to enjoy it.
Well, my plan is, my ultimate goal is to get this machine all souped up and running, and then because my monitor is on this little stand that's a fair bit up from the screen here, and my Mac Mini's off to the side. If I could clear all the garbage off my desk, big if, I want this computer to sit under the monitor, and then I could just use it. But we'll see if that actually happens.
That would be cool. I mean, that is. Look, I mean, what a shame there isn't something like that, like with a 604 in it or something like that. When all the other clones were coming out, that someone actually did that, created just a stereo system with a computer in it.
I mean, the 603E one is apparently harder to find, but if I really wanted to take the logic board out, I could easily just put in like a G3 board or something like that.
So how many different models did Pioneer make of these?
They made two like main models. So there's this one that's 60 megahertz, and they made an 80 megahertz, which is interesting because Apple never shipped a 6100 with an 80 megahertz processor in it.
That was 8100.
So, yeah, well, I mean, it's the board is still this one, which is interesting. But yeah, so they had that, and they did the 603, and that was it. But they also had a 68K one that was the same thing. They just had an Apple board in there, so it's not like they had a custom board. But
that'd be cool.
Pioneer was obsessed with their sound, so
yeah, well, that's what they're known for.
Yeah.
That's why I've always wanted one, because I really, the laser disc players have always been my favorite thing from Pioneer.
Yeah, well, they made a matching one for this, but good luck finding it.
Yeah, I'd like to find one.
Is that the zip? Is that a zip drive in there? I assume.
No, that's just a floppy.
It's a floppy? Okay. Could you
Yeah.
swap a zip drive out for that?
Well, so the 603E model had a bay on the left that was for the magneto optical. So that was in Japan. That was much more popular as a format, but
Okay.
I don't think the bezel was interchangeable.
It's also that's also very much a time frame thing there. I mean, because I know that at the company that I worked with, we were using the little 128 megabyte magneto opticals. I think they were 128 megabyte magneto opticals, and we used those for years until the zip came out because it was so much cheaper. And then the magneto opticals were just forgotten. We just stopped. They're in a box, and they just didn't put some old backups on them or something, and just barely touched them, and then everything just went zip.
The only problem with this system, just like the 6100, there was zero ventilation in this case. So I had to install a fan because the thing got so stupidly hot. Because the processor is right here and the graphics card is like on top of it.
Oh,
You know,
It's
and
crazy.
with that fan, it reduces the degrees by like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is great. But where the hell's the air going to? You know, it's like the only exhaust fans are right to the right of the floppy drive and the left of the CD-ROM, but it's at the front of the case. It's not where the processor is. So what, you're cooling off the hard drive? Like, come on.
Yeah, what you're going to want to do is you want to go get yourself a drill. You're going to want to drill a few little holes across the top,
Yeah.
a few little holes down the side.
Oh
and,
god, this case is in beautiful shape. I'd fucking die if that happened. Oh man. Just like
Open
you
it
don't
up.
even drill
Open it
it.
up.
You just take a soldering iron and jam it in there so it's melted plastic.
Melts it,
everywhere.
yeah.
Just destroy it. Poor
Gives
thing.
it character.
Yes. Now, well, look, I think unless anyone else has anything to follow up, and we've been going for nearly an hour and a half now, I think we can probably sign off. I think we've probably done enough, unless, as I say, anyone has anything else they would like to add. Is that? Are you putting your hand up there, Gritty?
I think he's having a heart
No,
attack.
my headset went off for a second there.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool banana.
Echo!
It's okay. Nobody. Anyway.
So anyhow, I guess what I would like to do is finish this up by saying thank you to everyone who contributed to the PowerPC challenge. It was great to see
Yes.
those posts in there. If you did do something, you haven't documented it yet, it's not too late. Pop it in there into the chat, into the Tinker Different thread there, because you know, I'm definitely going to be going back and reading some of those ones that I missed. So
I should mention on the Facebook groups, we've got Vintage Apple Macintosh Enthusiasts. You got Low End Mac. Probably another one that I'm forgetting. One of the moderators named Adam Goff, it's like every day he had a different project, and it was all centered around the PowerPC challenge. So if you're a member of those groups, go and check them out. A lot of times he would use the hashtag so you can search for it. But he had a ton of projects that he did. And it was really great
I did
stuff.
see a few of those. Yeah, probably should have done that as well, but never mind.
Well, we'd be here another hour.
Yeah, that's right. So anyhow, look, thanks to everyone who joined us. If anyone here has anything else that they want to mention, does anyone want to plug anything before we go?
Well, kind of.
No, good. You got 10
Shit
seconds.
or get off the pot, Gertie. Come on.
The Mac Pro series coming back.
That's not PowerPC related. Get the hell out of here.
And hello to Sean. Alrighty. Okay. Well, thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to you guys for being part of this. I'm sorry it was pretty much just me talking the whole friggin' time.
How dare
Sorry
you?
about that. Yeah, I know.
I didn't do as much as I wanted to, or I'd probably talk more.
Oh, product.
That's an old favorite.
Dead cat.
An old favorite.
But of course, we do this PowerPC challenge. But remember, every day is a good day to use a PowerPC. So
Heck yeah.
get out there, give it a whirl.
Especially when you're confusing the hell out of your coworkers.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks again, and see you at the next one, whenever that is.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.